It is picked up by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Welcome to this 49ers morning show. I'm your host, former NFL and NFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And I figured you guys would need some, okay, got the 49ers hat on, let's go. Got out the orange October hat. I figured you guys would need some positive vibes this morning. So I see some flames in here. Everybody still, got some positive vibes going after a 49ers loss. But I wanted to play a song for you guys and kind of lift your spirits a little bit. All right, so y'all ready for this? All right, here we go. There we go. I don't know if y'all can hear that. This morning I was just like, man, like, how can I give them any sort of joy? And I was like, man, Bob Marley, man, he makes everything better. Bob Marley makes everything better. So we're gonna listen to a little bit of Bob Marley, start getting everything going. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling. Got the 5 flames going in, so people still feeling good. I think at times like this, you gotta start looking at, like, what's the big picture? You know what I'm saying? What's the big picture of the 49ers, of this situation? How do we turn this thing around? The Flames are Kyle's hot seat. I do wonder how does Jet York look at this? I had to turn that off because I'm not sure how much I could play on YouTube before they do the whole copyright thing. We need Lance. Okay, you know what? I'm glad you said that, Shane. But you know what? Before we get started, and I'm going to get to this. Before we get started, make sure you guys, if you're not already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right? Hit the like button, subscribe button. Underdog Fantasy. There it is. Underdog Fantasy. If you're not already, download the Underdog Fantasy app. When you sign up, use promo code Crocky. They'll throw an additional $10 into your account. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't get a copyright strike. I know I might have even played a little bit too much of the Bob Marley. Hopefully they don't take out my monetization from this. But tough loss. Again, like, if you haven't already, subscribe. Underdog Fantasy, make sure you guys use promo code Crocky. There's a game tonight. I'm definitely going to be getting in on some of the over-under action with the – actually, I started my partnership with Lines. All right, I probably should add the link in here in my description. All right, but Lines, make sure you guys go check out Lines. They are on YouTube. They're on Twitter at Lines. They're on Instagram at Lines_sports. I put out some content on them for over-under bets and things like that. I'm really not feeling this 49er hat this morning. Let's go. Let's see. I think this one is – here we go. Am I feeling this one? I ain't feeling that one. We'll see if this one does it for me. All right, but anyways, make sure you guys Lines. All right, Lines, go list Twitter, all that, Instagram at Lines_sports. I've been putting out some over-under stuff on there. I actually predicted Jamar Chase go over yesterday, which was 77.5 yards, and he smashed it. All right. So, yeah, you guys go check that out. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Crocky, all that good stuff. I appreciate all the support from everybody that tunes in here. Here we go. I love Bob Marley. I listened to him in Germany, 1979. High as in the military. That's what's up. I can't wait to hear Greg's take on the QB play. And I can't wait. And I didn't even mention, obviously, today is QB Monday. So Greg will be coming on in about 20 minutes or so to kind of give his perspective on the quarterback situation and kind of what he would do and really look at it from, just a bird's eye view of this whole thing. But I wanted to get into Trey Lance first, I guess. We could talk about Trey Lance. We could talk about the loss. I know a lot of people, it's like, get Jimmy Garoppolo out of here. No, I did not hear Jimmy's presser about his calf. Oh, no. All right, so my initial thoughts. These are my initial thoughts. The first thing that I just thought about, right, as the game is going on, and I see, Jimmy Garoppolo, I see what's going on, I see the game and everything like that. I had a couple thoughts. All right. My first thought, as it pertained to everybody kind of just saying, get Trey Lance in there. I don't, and I know y'all probably don't want to hear this. I don't know if playing Trey Lance in that game or any other game is going to automatically make everything better. I can't pinpoint one thing that's wrong with the 49ers, and that's tough, right? Typically, it's like, oh, well, we're bad here, and that's why we lose. Which, I mean, guys, maybe you could say the discipline of the secondary and committing penalties, that was a big issue in the game, and we'll talk about the secondary. But I don't think it's one thing. It almost feels like every week they make new mistakes and find new ways to lose. And I was talking to my homeboy Chris, and Chris said it too. He was like, bad teams find ways to lose. And I think right now, when you look at the 49ers, they are finding different ways to lose each time. It's a different way every time. And I think that's tough. I'd much rather they lose the same way every time. And then it's like, okay, we can figure out how to improve on that or overcompensate for that. But that's not the issue right now. Crazy thing is, I don't look at the 49ers and think that it's a bad team. Somehow, when you watch them, it's like you can clearly see that a lot of times they're the better team on the field, but there's something lacking with like the execution or the closing of it. But I don't watch this team and just be like, oh, they suck. They can't do this well or they can't do that well. Obviously, there's areas where they can improve, but I've watched some teams yesterday, and I tweeted this out, and I was like, man, 49ers can't be worse than any of these teams. And people were like, we'll see tonight. And a lot of people kind of quote tweeted that, basically saying, look, 49ers are worse. And I still don't believe that. I don't think that the 49ers are worse than a lot of the teams that I watched yesterday. They don't look like a bad team. They just do things that bad teams do. You know what I'm saying? They just do things that bad teams do. And it's hard to kind of verbalize exactly what I'm saying, but I don't think that inserting Trey Lance is going to fix the things. Here's my thing. If y'all want Trey Lance, then you have to be willing mentally to accept the fact that we may not win. Like, playing Trey Lance isn't going to make it to where the 49ers automatically win games. That's not going to fix the issues that's going on right now. So I know a lot of people, if you want Trey Lance to play, it has to be for other reasons than winning. So if you guys have been, most of you guys tune in every day of the week with me, you guys know where my stance is. I looked at it from maybe a different standpoint. I looked at it from a different standpoint than most fans. I looked at it from a different standpoint than Kyle Shanahan probably would. But I did not care about this season as it pertains to winning games. To me, this season was all about developing Trey Lance and getting him to where we need him to be. The closer he gets to what he's going to be, the better the 49ers are in the long haul. That's what this was for me. And we talked about it last night, and it should be on this morning's episode of Locked On 49ers. I actually have the Locked On 49ers link in the description, so make sure you guys click that link. Also, Locked On NFL Draft, the link is in the description. Click that link as well. But to me, and my outlook on this season, it was all about getting Trey Lance prepared. Now, everybody looking at how upset you guys are about the loss, and it was an ugly loss. I don't care about it. I care about, can we get Trey Lance ready? And whatever that looks like in the process of that. So, again, to me, 49ers lost, whatever. Like, should have been playing Trey Lance anyways. But in my opinion and how I've been looking at it, I'm not playing Trey Lance to improve this situation. I'm playing Trey Lance to get him ready for what I want him to look like next season. And That was my outlook on it. So it was different than, I'm pretty sure, what the coaching staff had, what the players had. Pretty sure it's different than most of you fans, because I see everybody calling for Trey Lance because the 49ers lost. I don't think he's going to fix those issues, but the better he gets and the more comfortable he gets, the better he's going to look going into next year. And to me, it's all about, what do the 49ers look like heading into next year with Trey Lance? How much confidence do you have in him being the guy? Because if Trey Lance is just a little bit better than what he is right now, the 49ers do win that game yesterday. But again, I don't think they win that right now. Now, here's the thing. 49ers could have been preparing him for that moment from day one. And that's my thing. How much better would Trey Lance be today if he had started playing week one? Right? Would he be better suited to play in a game like that? Because I'll tell you what it came down to. All right, this is what that game came down to. That game came down to who's going to make the most plays. You have this game with crappy surface, crappy elements, rain pouring down, field getting sloppy. So at the end of the day, I either have to, one, make plays, or two, put my guys in position to make plays. And when the defense was making plays early on and stopping the Colts, 49ers offense, again, failed to capitalize on those mistakes. But again, I understand the elements. So it's a little tough when you're playing in that type of situation. But at the end of the day, you got to figure it out. And the Colts figured it out. They said, you know what? 49ers defensive backs, for whatever reason, they get a lot of pass interference calls. We're going to try them vertically and see if we can get lucky, right? I think I salute, and that was the reason why, ultimately, like, why the 49ers lost. And that was just maybe like a microcosm of just how the season is going. But ultimately, it was the pass interference calls. Because they were all on third down. Oh, it's third down. Let's just heave it up. I hate that shit. The Carson Wentz gave his team a better chance to win than Jimmy Garoppolo. Carson Wentz put more pressure on the 49ers defense, whether it was vertically, by throwing balls in the air and seeing if a defensive back panics, or if he needed to make a play with his legs, and he did that. He wasn't a great game from Carson Wentz by any means, but I don't think that was expected, especially in the elements. But it was a great game in the sense of what he needed to make happen. And it was, I got to make plays, or I got to put my guys in position to make plays. And I thought he did a better job than that than Jimmy Garoppolo. But that's who Jimmy Garoppolo is, right? Jimmy Garoppolo, that's who he's always been. 2020, there were times when he made plays, but on a consistent basis, if you look at even his record, right? They showed it last night. All the wins and all that, the wins that Jimmy Garoppolo has and Kyle Shanahan has with him, a lot of it was not losing the game for the 49ers. That's really how Jimmy plays. Like, okay, I'm going to make just enough plays or throws like on third down to not lose. But like, Jimmy is not the playmaker, right? Like, he is not the guy really applying the pressure. I remember Stephen A. Smith said this on his show First Take during the Super Bowl run. He said this during the Super Bowl run when the 49ers were undefeated, maybe even a little bit after that. But he said, we talk about 5 different things before we get to the quarterback of the 49ers, which was Jimmy Garoppolo, right? You talk about 5 different things why they're successful. It could be the pass rush, the linebackers, the secondary that year, George Kittle, Kyle Shanahan, and then you get to the quarterback, right? So I can't, when in the 49ers' best year with Jimmy Garoppolo, where he typically wasn't the reason they won, he just also was the reason they did not lose, right? And I think that's how people, they're not really looking at that standpoint. I had to play better than, if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, I got to play better than Brian Hoyer, who contributed to losses. I got to play better than CJ Beathard, Nick Mullins. They do things to contribute to losses. Jimmy Garoppolo did just enough to where it's like, I'm not going to contribute to a loss. I might not win you every game. He won a couple games. He definitely won a couple games. But a lot of it was, I'm playing not to lose. That was Jimmy Garoppolo's style, and that was how Kyle Shanahan utilized him throughout the year. And it was never more apparent than during the playoffs. Like Jimmy didn't win those games. He just didn't lose those games. And at some point, as things aren't ideal around you, you're going to need that guy to win you games. And right now, the 49ers need it. They need it. They need Jimmy to win them games, but he's just not that guy. So who is that guy? Trey Lance potentially could be that guy. So you play him now to prepare him for those moments. But even then, playing Trey Lance right now is not going to automatically fix all the issues that the 49ers have, and it's not going to automatically result in wins. But how are you looking at this? Are you looking at this because you want Trey Lance to be the savior right now? Or are you looking at it like me, where it's just like, I want us to be better 2022. I want us to be ready 2022. And I want us to be able to make a run 2022 with Trey Lance. And I think playing Trey Lance right now, it might not result in wins right now. Can he finish the season strong and give us that hope that things are heading in the right direction next year? Look at Justin Herbert. People don't remember this. Justin Herbert did not start the season as a rookie. It was Tyrod Taylor. It wasn't until Tyrod Taylor's lung got punctured or whatever. And then what happened? We saw some high moments from Justin Herbert where they jumped out to some leads on some teams, Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I believe. They were jumping out on teams, big leads, like 20-point leads or whatever. And then they would lose the game, right? With Justin Herbert, right? They would jump out to these leads. You see him playing well. You see him do things. Then he might have a pick or something might happen, might have a rookie mistake, whatever the case is, and they lose the game. Down the stretch, what happened? They end up winning 4 straight games. They won 4 straight games heading into. He was better going through what they went through early on with him at quarterback. They were better as a team later in the year and carried that momentum over to this year. And now those same games that Justin Herbert lost last year, he's winning them this year. I mean, except for how he just got his ass kicked against the Ravens. Justin Herbert did not start all 16 games last year. Tyrod Taylor started week 1, and Tyrod Taylor might have started week 2. And then I think maybe it was week 3 where their lung got punctured or whatever. I believe that was how it happened. They gave him a shot in the ribs or whatever. Then it made it to where he couldn't play. And then even after that, Coach Lynn wasn't trying to keep starting. He wasn't trying to continue to start Justin Herbert. So it happened week 2. Yeah, see, I see came in about week 4. It happened week 2. I know it was around there. But they were better for that, right? The Chargers were better for going through all the ups and downs of what happens playing the rookie and the high moments and the low moments or whatever it was, and seeing if he could play. And he was a gamer and he did some things really well. They were better going through that and the ups and downs. Finished the season strong, 4 straight games. As 49er fans, are y'all willing to go through that? Because everything I heard, because I've been preaching this since before the season, but everything I heard was this is a Super Bowl ready team. That's what I was told. I didn't care about none of that. I didn't care about none of that. I'm not gonna lie. So let's talk about the defensive pass interference calls. All right, I talked a little bit about. Really, this was a turning point in the season, and I thought this was a must-win. Now, obviously, every game from here on out is almost like a playoff game. And again, that's why it's just like my expectations for whatever y'all think Trey Lance is supposed to come in here and do. My expectations aren't that high. I just want to get him ready. Can we be confident in what we're seeing down the stretch? Look at Justin Fields right now. Justin Fields has had some good games, and he has some games where it's like, this dude's sorry. I don't think Justin Fields is sorry, but he's a rookie. So he's gonna have to figure that out. Hold on, real quick, before I get into the topic of the defensive pass interference. It says, and my thoughts on that. I did have a contribution here. Bernard, I appreciate the contribution. Kyle Banahan looks so depressed talking after the press. He didn't have his ball cap on to hide his face, and it looks 60 years old. 5 years, so please start Trey Lance for the future. So I agree, and you're going to have to look at it like this. If you're going to start Trey Lance, you have to look at it like we are starting Trey Lance for the future. And I hope you guys understand that. and not what it looks like from Trey Lance on a game-to-game basis. Again, you got to judge Trey Lance. If he ends up starting, and listen to some of Kyle Shanahan's comments, looks like he might be leaning towards that way. I don't know, I'm more of a hat backwards type guy today. It looked like Kyle Shanahan, he's not committing to one quarterback, not committing to Jimmy Garoppolo right now, which was a little, I don't want to say shocking. I think that's what we thought we would hear, but with him, you just never know. So, again, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching from Twitter, head over to Croc Talk TV on YouTube. And as you guys see, I'm starting to change things over. Got the logo changing and everything. Things are starting to shift over to Frontline Sports. Got the merchandise coming soon, hats coming soon, sweaters, hoodies, all that good stuff, man. So yeah, make sure, I appreciate all the support for everybody getting this thing rolling. Clothing line coming on, t-shirts with slogans on there, all that good stuff. So but anyways, yeah, Trey Lance, he will be the guy of the future, and that's how you're gonna have to look at it. Let's talk about these defensive pass interference calls, and I appreciate the contribution again, Bernard. Let's talk about these defensive pass interference calls and kind of how this is how I view it. All right, this is how I view it. I just saw somebody say Jimmy gives us the best chance to win. In theory, Jimmy did give the 49ers the best chance to win, but he just hasn't played at that level. Not what we expected. This is what I expected from Jimmy Garoppolo. Not getting to defensive pass interferences. What I expected from Garoppolo was, can you look like what Mac Jones has looked like this year, right? You watch the New England Patriots, it's not so much that Mac Jones is doing anything special. It is special because he is a rookie doing this stuff at a high level. Okay, so that part is special. But it's like not really like pushing the ball down the field, but it's just making the right throws. Can I just make the right throws and make the right reads? And when you need a throw, can I make the throw? And I think that's what we're seeing that's what we got from Garoppolo in 2019. That's what we're seeing from Mac Jones right now. And I just expected to see that from Jimmy Garoppolo, and we're just not. We're not seeing that. So if I'm not going to get that, then I might as well play my rookie that needs to learn. Right? Now, again, what the payoff with Trey Lance is, I don't even know how high that ceiling is. I don't know how high that ceiling is. I watch him do certain things. I'm just like, when it comes together, it's just when's it going to come together. I mean, that's the thing with sometimes with these rookies. But when it comes together, Trey Lance is. Defensive pass interference. So I'm getting tagged in this stuff all the time, right? 49ers are like, man, Croc, can you suit up? Because these DBs are trash. Or can the 49ers do the DBs trash, DB trash? I'm here to tell you right now, 49ers DBs are not trash. Actually, their coverage skills, how can I word this? I do not equate pass interference calls with bad play. Like I don't think you are a bad player or a bad anything because you get a penalty against you. I do think that that's a lack of like discipline. There's definitely something that you have to fix. With from a technical standpoint, getting comfortable, running down the field with guys, getting your head around. There is something that you have to fix to eliminate the call, but I don't watch the 49ers and be like, damn, these dudes getting drugged, these dudes trash, these dudes ass, they can't cover. Like, that's not my thought process when I see the 49ers DBs. It's the penalties. And they gotta figure out why it's happening, whether it's, okay, we're panicking, so we gotta work on our transition, getting our head around, or whatever the case is. But I don't watch the DBs and I don't say they suck. So I don't think it's just as simple as, oh, you get somebody else in and they're just gonna be better. Because from a coverage standpoint, you might just get dogged, right? They're not, except for the Drake or Patrick, that was trash. I mean, I talk about ball skills a lot of times with cornerbacks and how difficult it is because a lot of times the ball jumps out, the ball jumps up on you. It's like, oh, I'm in coverage, la la. Okay, get my head around it. Oh, damn, there's a ball. And you gotta try to catch it. Maybe you drop it or something. Drake or Patrick was set up. I mean, it was like Carson Wentz was kind of trying to throw him the ball, and he slipped, getting ready to jump. And it's just like at the end of the day, it can't happen. It can't happen. But what you guys are seeing from the cornerbacks, they're not bad. So if you just think like, oh, this guy sucks, this guy's trash, this guy's trash, they're not trash. They do have to figure out how to play the ball without, the contact or whatever. But there's a difference between guys that I've seen guys that just get ate up and can't cover. That's not the issue with these guys right now. The pass interferences are definitely an issue. And in the past, I wasn't as critical on pass interference calls because I feel like it's a judgment thing. So it's like I can cover a guy the same way, right? Like I can be physical with a guy and break up a ball and they don't call anything. And I can play my technique and do it that same exact way and they throw a flag. So that's why I don't equate a pass interference call or like a holding call on the offensive lineman with bad play. It definitely is something that you have to fix, but I don't think you suck because of it. And when I watch the 49ers secondary, I don't see a secondary that sucks. Matter of fact, they're playing like the top 5 team in pass coverage, but they're having these back-breaking penalties for whatever reason. And they lead the league. But there's some of them that's like, that's not a flag. I'm looking at like Josh Norman. He's getting stiff-armed by Michael Pittman all the way down the field. Pittman makes the catch, and they call pass interference on Norman, and I don't agree with that. But the play in the end zone when Mosley hugged Pittman, that is a flag. So I don't know exactly how you fix it, but I don't think these guys are bad. I actually think I think the way they're making plays on the ball, they're doing those things at a high level, but they got to figure out how to cut out the penalties. They have to. I don't know what the answer is to that, though. But the corners don't suck. Now, if you really want to just kind of work to really kind of get rid of it, get a smaller guy because they typically play more with their feet and they're not as grabby at the top of routes. So if you get like Asante Samuel, just to name a random guy. All right, you get Asante Samuel, he's probably not going to get the same pass interference calls because he plays more with his feet to get in position to make a play on the ball. Where the 49ers have some of these more aggressive corners, which clearly the league is like, we're not letting y'all be aggressive. And I think we look at it like it's a 49ers thing. It's not a 49er thing. It's an NFL thing. Turn on any game. Now, again, it's happening a little bit more with the 49ers, but turn on any game and you're going to see DBs get flagged and you're going to be like, wow, that was a flag. But then y'all not going to call offensive pass interference. It's really crazy. But again, I don't look at the 49ers and say they're bad. Now, I do look at Kyle Shanahan and say he's bad for not using the same logic, and I'm going to get to Kyle Shanahan in a second. I'm ready to develop the kid. Do we need to start looking for a one wide receiver, and do we need to invest more draft capital into the secondary? Man, I wish 49ers would be in position to draft that Kyle Hamilton kid, that safety from Notre Dame. 6'4", 220 pounds, crazy range, good coverage skills. He's going to be one of the best safety prospects I've seen come out in years. Good coverage guy. And he's good around the box. I saw him one time. It was 4th and 2. He was at it too high. Came down, made a tackle for loss. Like, I don't know how he did it. That dude's kind of special. All right, but as far as receivers go, first of all, 49ers have a wide receiver one. It's Deebo Samuel. He has established himself as that. He's their go-to guy. Get him the ball however you need to. I definitely feel like 49ers should take more shots vertically with Deebo Samuel. I mean, he's winning at all levels. There were a couple times he bailed them out, and 2 of those catches got called back. And there were like back-to-back plays where one was like holding on. Well, there was one play that was holding on Ross Dwelly where the ball got hit and it fluttered in the air and Deebo came out of nowhere and made the catch. Like, that's your guy. That's your main guy. Now, do you need somebody opposite him that's going to step up? Yes. I don't know who that is. It seems like 49ers receivers aren't having a high volume of numbers right now, but I mean, shoot, at this level, you'd even appreciate the consistency of Kendrick Bourne. And we're not even getting that. But Deebo Samuel, Deebo's not the issue is Kyle. All right. Not so on Locked On 49ers, make sure you guys listen to Locked On 49ers. Link is in the bio. I talked about this. And I talked about it before the game because I listened to a lot of Colts. I was on a couple Colts podcasts, and both Colts podcasts I was on, their host said the same thing. Xavier Rhodes is playing terrible. He's playing the worst football that they've seen at the cornerback position. He's a liability. He's trash. He's whatever. Then you have Julian Blackmon go down with an injury, ruptured his Achilles, towards Achilles. So I asked the question. We've seen these secondaries that are either decimated by injury or they just are bad secondaries. Have we ever seen Kyle Shanahan take advantage of either a bad secondary or a weakness on the field, a liability at like cornerback, right? So what I mean by that is sometimes when you with the 49ers, when teams are playing the 49ers, we've seen this happen with the Brian Allen guy in the Dolphins game, right? Where they just said, damn, I know we planned on XYZ, but this guy is a weakness. Let's just target this Brian Allen guy. And they just targeted him and targeted him and targeted him. We saw this week 2, 2018. Ahkello Witherspoon had a bad ankle. And the Lions said, damn, he can't cover right now. Let's target him. And they just targeted him maybe 10 times. Saw it week 1, 2020, DeAndre Hopkins or, Emmanuel Mosley. Emmanuel Mosley gave up 14 catches. I've never seen that. He gave up 14 catches where they're like, well, you're just going to play soft. We're just going to keep doing pitch and catch, 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards. When has Kyle ever done that? So part of this is on him because you got Xavier Rhodes out there and I got a Deebo Samuel. I need to throw it deep. He got hurt. So first of all, he's been playing trash. That's what the coach people have been telling me. All right, Xavier Rhodes been playing trash. He's been bad. All right, whatever. On top of that, he's going into the game and he's hurt. Like he hurt himself during warmups, and they're not even sure if he's going to be able to return. So he's playing bad, then he gets hurt. How do you not take shots vertically? How do you not say, all right, Deebo, just run straight. Just run straight. Let's see what happens, right? Jimmy Garoppolo, just throw it out as high and as far as you can. Deebo, run under. We're going to test this out. If we get a single high look, we got alert, check to the go route. All right? Look right and just know you're going left and just throw it and see what happens. Because a big corner like him, especially if he gets beat at all, he's going to grab. We saw it with the 49ers guys. You got to test them out. You got to test it out. So some of this was on Kyle because it's like, Kyle, at what point are you going to attack teams' weaknesses? And he just hasn't done it. So I know I kind of got on this little spiel, but you asked 49ers for a one wide receiver or for a one. I think 49ers got their guy. They just need somebody to play off that. Now, I think if you look at the 49ers receiver core, I would like to see more diversity within the group. I would like to see the 49ers have can they have guys with different type of body styles instead of just the same guy? So can I have some guys that do some different things? Because right now, everybody that the 49ers throw to is the same guy. It's just Deebo Samuel does it better than everybody else. I don't think that Deebo can't get over the top. At some point, you just got to try it. And see, okay, let's see what happens. Kyle does not go for weakness. He sees it as being predictable. Well, other teams are. I think those are things where it's like you can kind of overthink it. No, I wouldn't go get Odell Beckham. I understand Kyle Shanahan's philosophy. I call plays. I'm a defensive guy, obviously, but I coach 7-on-7 and I call plays. Typically, I coach the offense because I understand concepts and I understand coverage beaters. So I will all my plays that I have in my 7-on-7 playbook are a lot of beaters. So whatever coverage you're in, I know what puts certain guys in conflict, right? So I know if we do this, like this guy is going to be in a vulnerable position. We're reading this one guy and you're going to have two options off of him and your check down, which will be a third option, right? I think Kyle Shanahan looks at it the same, but at some point while I'm calling plays, if I look and see like that guy can't cover my best guy, I'm going to go at that. I'm going to attack that. And I think that's where we're not really getting with Kyle Shanahan, where Yes, you got your scheme, and his scheme is terrific, and you can see when it's on, it's cooking, and those things work. But at some point, teams they will kind of just go away from the scheme a little bit to attack a certain thing. Here we go. Why are Niners so undisciplined? Is it coach and locker room leader problem? I don't know. I mean, typically when teams are undisciplined, it comes back to coaching. Yeah, not like a locker room leader problem or anything like that. I don't think that's the issue. It comes back to coaching. I appreciate the contribution, Aaron. There are questions of, how good of a head coach is Kyle Shanahan? And it's tough because everybody loves Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, everybody loves Kyle. Most players love him. At least that's what everything that comes out. Even guys that don't and they have a rough time with him, look at Dante Pettis. And Dante Pettis comes out and says, I took what he was saying the wrong way. Now you could say, Kyle, you have to understand that the way you get at this guy, you might have to do it different with the other guy. I know some coaches that are going to get at you the same way, no matter who you are. Bill Belichick gets at Tom Brady the same way, right? Now Tom Brady can take it. Dante Pettis couldn't. Deebo Samuel could take it. Deebo, yeah, he challenged Deebo. Somebody asked, I was on the Spaces last night, and they asked like, what? They asked, how would I feel if a coach got at me in the media as opposed to talking to me in private? And obviously, I think most people would prefer the private way, but we've seen Kyle challenge other guys in the media. He challenged Deebo Samuel. Deebo has to come in better shape. Deebo has to XYZ. He has to take care of his body. He said those things. That's challenging Deebo Samuel. And Deebo responded. So again, some guys respond, some guys don't. I think Kyle's looking for guys that respond. Kyle's looking for guys that are going to respond to his way of coaching because he feels like if you take to my coaching, you will be better for it. But I think in the process, it seems like it kind of hurts the team in a sense. Hope everybody is good. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Got over 150 y'all in here. So I should have over 150 likes. If you haven't liked it already, just click that X down from the chat, hit the like button, and then get back into the live chat. All right. So do that for me right now. I'll give y'all some time. Go ahead, hit that like button. Okay. Helps with the algorithm, helps get more people in here. Situational football is our problem and has always been a college problem. He should be scoring 28 points a game. If he is this genius, people make him out to be why McVay's offense looks better than Kyle's. Yeah, okay. I agree, but then I don't agree, but I agree, right? Like when Kyle's cooking, his situational football is great. I don't know what's going on right now. I think this is what it comes down to, man. This is what it comes down to. At some point, you just need your quarterback to make a play. This is a quarterback-driven league. Everything is created to make. It's like, Kyle, you don't have to be the guy. Kyle, I'll take care of this. Okay, Kyle, you might be wrong on this play. I'm gonna make you right. At some point, the quarterback has to be able to, and we've heard this, quarterback has to be able to play above the X's and O's at some point. Now, again, I'm not exhausting Kyle of all fault here. Like, Kyle, you got to figure it out. But I am saying it would be nice to have your quarterback help you. I mean, those are the same reasons. Everybody talks about QB wins and stuff like that. McVay got rid of Jared Goff, who had like more wins than anybody over like the last 4 years or previous 4 years. But you say like, bro, why does everybody look at Jimmy a certain way but not Goff? Right? Goff won hella games and he was hella active and he went to a Super Bowl as well and lost in the Super Bowl. But it was like, oh, he's just so trash. But kudos to McVay and them for being like, you know what, we got to get better. And I think the way to get better is have a guy who can make plays at the quarterback position. I don't think Jimmy is a playmaker. And I think it makes it tougher. When your quarterback does not create plays, does not make plays, yes, he can make throws, but like, is he making plays? When your quarterback can't do that, it just makes everything much more difficult. Every single thing matters way more. You can look at how the Colts won last night. The Colts made several mistakes. They turned the ball over several times. But at the end of the day, we got guys. Michael Pittman made plays. Third and 16 or second and 16, whatever. You know what? Carson Wentz run for 16, 17 yards, right? Carson Wentz just took off for 17 yards. Read option on the goal line. Boom, touchdown. Like at some point, you need your quarterback to make plays. Especially even when things aren't going well. Damn, this is a tough, gritty game that we're playing in right now. Somebody's got to come through and make a play. And last night, Carson Wentz did. Now, I wouldn't go this far. I don't want to say Geno is better. But I think Jimmy is just somebody that needs things to be a little bit more ideal around him. And that's tough. That's tough. These are things that people have been saying, though, and there's a lot of people that just point to, well, he wins. And it's like, man, like, are you watching the games? Do you not see how the 49ers win? But then they'll reference the Saints game, which I used to do that too. Like, man, look at the Saints game. I still have hope. I don't know where is Greg at. Let me text Greg real quick, yo. I still have hope that the 49ers I still have hope that the 49ers can turn this thing around. It's going to be tougher when you have a rookie quarterback, and I expect the ups and downs of having a rookie. And I hope everybody else understands that as well. You got a rookie quarterback in there that's not going to make this situation better. Just hit that thing, Croc, pause. It's not going to make things better. It's not just going to magically make the 49ers win. There are a lot of things that go into this. I thought that they would be better coming out of bye. Obviously, the elements didn't help, but both teams had to play in it. Both teams had to play in it. All right, here we go. Greg's not here yet, so what we'll do is we'll open up the floor for y'all. Do you think I will? Here we go. So you guys go ahead. If you want to come in, you want to chat a little bit, you already know what to do. Hit that link. As you can see, as I put in the chat, that's Frontline Sports Media. We're changing everything over. The actual website will be done soon. All right, so we have the Frontline Sports Media website, and everything I do from a media standpoint will be going through Frontline Sports Media. Also, I have Frontline Sports Performance, my gym being built right now. Underdog Fantasy, make sure if you're not already, download the Underdog Fantasy app. Promo code Crocky, that's CROCKY. When you deposit a minimum of $10, they throw an additional $10 into your account. All right, so make sure you guys promo code Crocky Underdog Fantasy, and it's not just a fantasy app. It's really everything. All right, so we got people coming in now, and I don't know when Greg is gonna come on. So this is how I'm gonna do this, y'all. I don't want to put like a timer on people, but I kind of gotta put a timer on people. So we're gonna get what I'll do is I'll just let you get your take off. All right, so you'll get your initial take because we got 5 people that hopped in real quick. So you'll get your take off, and then I'll bring you off the air, and I'll kind of respond to your take. How does that sound? All right, so I see, man, here. How can we remain faithful anyway? You got to remain faithful. Listen, I was with the New York Jets, and I had a 49ers case on my cell phone. All right, going to be faithful no matter what. You're a 49er fan, you're a 49er fan regardless. All right, so, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, here we go. Got the callers coming in. So again, I got a bunch of people hopping in right now. Just have your take, and I'm gonna bring you off air. All right, but I don't want to be rude about it. So that's why I'm like, all right, here we go. First guy, Dion, what's good, man?
What's happening with you, Crocky? How you doing, brother? Good morning.
Oh man, I'm blessed.
There you go,
Ready
my
to see
brother.
some Trey Lance. We'll see what happens.
There you go. I am blessed as well. So, Croc, you've quick. I'll be quick because I know you kind of got it right. So, I'm gonna start off with several positives. The positive, Elijah Mitchell. Ran the ball well. Another positive, Deebo Samuel. That kid is just an amazing receiver. That's all I got for positives. Just keeping it a buck. I'm sorry. I know you guys don't like me because you say, dang, man, this guy comes on, he's negative. The other thing that I will say is the pressers are extremely telling. If you guys don't watch the post-game pressers, please watch them. Jimmy had the nerve to blame the weather. Carson Wentz went out there and put up 30 points in that same weather and did an interview in the pouring down rain with no hat, perfectly soaked, and was cool as a cucumber. The last play, you throw an interception. Why? Why not just take the sack? You know the game's lost. It's over. There's nothing you're going to be able to do with that. But you throw another pick to add to your interception total for the year. The other thing, Drake Kirkpatrick, you're an experienced defensive back in the league. If there's a dead duck in the air, you go get the duck. You don't throw your body into a receiver who has great body control, as you saw in the game, and allow him to walk into the end zone. Get the ball. Defense, you did what you could, man. I'm sorry that the offense has unfortunately let you down. We appreciate you, defense. We got nothing but love for you. And as far as to the guy that said we need receivers, let me tell you something. Put Trey Lance on the field. Give me Trent Sherfield. Give me Juwan Jennings. I guarantee you start to see more plays. You don't need to go out and mortgage more of our future on guys that are already in the building. You just got to give them the chance to get on the field. That's the issue. Let them play. Kyle could have ran the ball down the Colts' throats and never stopped running the ball. He should have schemed up 45 run plays. Other thing, Deebo Samuel was fed. The man he threw the ball 29 times. Deebo had 11 of those targets. The only other receiver that had more than 6 targets was Jermichael Hasty. He is a running back. Why is the running back getting more love than the actual receivers? Appreciate you, Crocky. And I'm out this joint, dog. I'll let somebody else go.
All right, no problem. Yeah, couple of things he touched on there, and he talked about the Drake Kirkpatrick play. Drake Kirkpatrick was in perfect position. He slipped. The issue is, bro, you can't slip. That's what happened. He went to jump and he lost his footing, and it's just like, bro, like it's too big of a moment right there to let that happen at that moment. I did see somebody in the chat say, why isn't Lenore in the lineup over Drake Kirkpatrick? They view Lenore as a nickel, so they're kind of developing him in that spot. So that's why. And then when you can only suit up so many guys, and I'm just again, I try to bring it to you guys from their perspective. I'm trying to look at it from the 49ers perspective. They have enough, they have their outside guys, and you need, so many or whatever. But you also, when it comes to the nickel spot, they want to suit up Dante Johnson because he can play all the positions. And I think they want Lenore to play more just nickel. So I think that's why he didn't suit up. Could be wrong. I hope somebody asks Kyle Shanahan. But here we go. Next guy up, my guy Matt Moses. What's your take, man?
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Croc, man? I kind of mad as pissed last night. I was happy the Lakers, we got our first win though, so that kind of made me feel a little bit better. With the positives, I'm gonna start. We started out the game well, and like the scripted plays always go out well, and we mixed the extra point, but we came on and kicked the field goal. I kind of had a feeling that things weren't gonna go because we kept letting these guys, hang in like 3 and out after 3 and out. And like how you were saying earlier, every person that knows the game, a fan of football, understands that you're going to have growing pains with a rookie quarterback. And what we're saying is if you brought Garoppolo back and you feel like he gives us a better chance to win and we're continuing to lose these games, then we might as well struggle with the rookie. And that's what we're all saying. I think anybody who knows the game, who played the game, could pretty much come to that conclusion. Like I said, man, I'm pretty much fed up with the slow offense with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like you see the offense is stalling out, everything like that. Things not going as planned. the receivers, they have an attitude. Debo's the only one getting the ball. I feel like they should just go ahead and open it up and let the young guy play. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. You had some really good takes there. Debo Samuel, man, I think, and I'm gonna get you off and get the next person on.
Yeah, Debo,
Appreciate
boy,
you
man.
for yeah, Debo's a boy, and that is one guy that you can count on. I saw somebody in the chat say Debo's overrated. It's like Debo's the only guy. Like he's the only guy that is making plays. He's making plays consistently. They put him back there on kickoff return, and even on kickoff return, Debo Samuel said, "You know what? I'm gonna take it to like the 30. Then I'm gonna take it past the 30 this time. I think he took it past the 35 on the second one. That's your guy. That's your guy." And it's unfortunate that it's like every single thing has to go through him, but it was cool to see him still be, extremely productive considering the elements and the fact that he was the only guy. All right, here we go. We got Jedi. What's good, man?
What's good? Can you hear me, bro?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, so yeah, I'm the guy that said something about getting another one receiver, right? And I love Debo. I have nothing against Debo. I think Debo is a beast. My thing is, I'm like you in a way. I see that we need a dynamic of different bodies to kind of challenge defenses in the way that the Steelers kind of have their bodies of different receivers. So I would just add to the mix of that.
Yeah.
Also, if we were going to go 2-4, why not just start Trey Lance from the beginning? If the
because
overall,
they go 2-4.
if this was going to be the outcome, if you told me right now at this point we be 2-4, I'd be hoping we start Trey Lance. I'd be like, well, at least we developed in a rookie. Well, it might not look good right now, but eventually he'll catch on. Man, from now on, we've got to go with Trey. It has to be Trey, no look back. I'm not even putting any high expectations. I just want to see Trey get better weekly. That's it. And I think Kyle needs that. I think Kyle is now officially coaching for his job. And I think he needs the rook to show potential. If he shows potential, because someone's getting axed. Someone's taking the blade. And right now it looks like Lynch. And that doesn't look like a clear house yet. But if they don't get some kind of optimism with this young kid, it could be the regime. It could be a clean house. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know if we're heading that way yet. Obviously the fan base it's all up to Jet York. And I will say Jet York definitely listens to the fan base and kind of knows where they stand with everything and how the faithful is, kind of really upset with what's going on. I'm just, I think and I'll continue to say this, like starting Trey Lance isn't going to fix everything, but hopefully it starts the clock on the 49ers really improving at the quarterback position and getting a more dynamic guy there. And eventually a legit quarterback who has really the potential to be like a top 5 guy. Here we go. My guy, Rich, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good, Crocker. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm chilling.
So, a positive from the game, we're down our best left tackle, Trent Williams, but it didn't seem to affect him at all. Jalen Moore stepped in, played really well. So, my thing is that
he had a couple penalties, I think, but considering though, first start he was like a 5th or 6th round pick. Yeah, I mean, I think he played well considering.
But my thing is that I'm frustrated with the way that Shanahan's been handling the rookie situation. We've seen glimpses of great play from a lot of these guys. Diamador Lenore, Trey Sermon, Jalen Moore, and it's just frustrating that we can't seem to get them on the field. It's either a lack of wanting to play them, maybe they're scared that they'll make mistakes, but at this point, you've got to let those guys grow into their roles. I mean, you're going to have bumps and bruises. That's every rookie goes through it. It doesn't matter,
right,
who you are. And they just don't develop, their rookies very well at all. And the other thing I'll say I've been putting this out there is that our Super Bowl aspirations are done. I went back since 2000. There was 5 teams that lost 3 games in a row and made it to the Super Bowl and won. And only one of those, the 2011 Giants, lost 4 in a row and won. But first of all, we're not the 2011 Giants.
Right.
We're not going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, we're kidding ourselves if we think that. And if you're not going to win the Super Bowl, now's the time to start developing your players. Get Lance in there. Get some of your other rookies in there. Let's see what Aaron Banks can do. You're going to have some bumps and bruises, but again, you're going to be better off for it next year. I mean, at this point, I think the faithful needs hope for the future is what we need. Yeah. So, but anyway, thanks, Croc. Appreciate it. And I'll hang up and listen to the rest.
All good. Appreciate you, Rich, for coming on. Coming on now, we got our guy, Vetti. What up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me.
What'd you do? You just ate weights for breakfast?
Nah, I'm trying to get there right now. You're kind of holding me up. I got to get this off my chest. I mean, it's nothing surprisingly or exceptionally fresh that I have to say, but man, the fan base is hurting right now. Did you see the stands last night? It was like half empty.
Yeah, I think the rain. You don't think the rain had something to do with that?
Well, I'm sure it did, man. But I mean, me personally, if I lived in San Francisco, I would be there, guaranteed, win or loss.
Yeah.
And
where you from?
I'm from Baltimore area, Maryland.
Okay.
Frederick County. But I mean, I've been a lifelong fan. I was born in California, and I've lived here for most of my life. But I'm a real fan. But that's what I'm saying. I'm really taking it personal, and I don't have anything against Shanahan. I've been a fan of his, but he's not in a good groove, man. He's not calling it correctly. He's not playing to his players' strengths. He's not making calls for Ayuk to get involved, even if he's not open. They gotta try to get the man involved. They're not playing to Jimmy's strengths. When they started putting Jimmy in the shotgun because they were losing, I feel like they were panicking. It's a rainy day.
Yeah.
People are dropping the ball. Continue to run the ball. Maybe we'll break one. The man had over 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? It's just simple stuff like that. I'm not understanding what Shanahan is going through personally. He even looks stressed out. You know what I'm saying? He's looking skinny. He's looking, and he's only 4. I'm 40 years old. That man is 40. He's older. You know what I'm saying? And like, man, it's not fun to watch my organization go down this path right now, but it's not looking promising, and something needs to be done immediately. Of course, Trey needs to play. We all know that. And I love how you've been consistent. And of course, Trey's not going to fix the season and take us to the Super Bowl. I would love for it to happen, but it's not very likely. But let the man get his burn. Let him get his bumps, his bruises, his picks, his sacks. You know what I'm saying? And make progression. More importantly, let Kyle figure out what to call for that man, because he's having trouble calling the offense right now. He doesn't know what to do. Why, when Trey was in the game, he looked crazy because Kyle didn't know what to do with the man. He didn't know. He has to learn it through mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And
did you see what the 49ers did coming out in that game? Did you see like the plays that Kyle Shanahan called, like on that first drive, right? They poop went down the field, but it was like, you mean to tell me, because all it was there was 2 pass plays, there was like 2 bootlegs.
Yeah,
Trey Lance can't do that.
Yeah, do that. Trey Lance would give even more misdirection because they gotta watch Trey Lance. Is he gonna keep it? Is he gonna, you know what I mean? Yes, Trey Lance. Of course he could do that. But Kyle has to learn that more importantly than anything. And I just don't see them firing Kyle, even though he's playing. I mean, he's coaching like a coach that could get fired to me. And I don't know if that's actually feasible for Jed York. I don't know if he has the balls to do it, or if he should. I think
Kyle, he has the ball. I think he has the balls to do it, but I don't think he'll do it because that offset. I think that's a big deal. The no offset in his contract. So if they fired Shanahan today, they have to pay him everything that he's owed on his contract. Where before, if you fire a guy like Chip Kelly or Tom Sula, if you fire them, you only pay them until they once they get a new job, you don't got to pay them anymore. That's not going to happen with Shanahan. So Shanahan, he just signed a huge contract extension. So if you were to cut him, you got to pay him the rest of that while he's probably getting paid top dollar from somebody else as well. So that's the reason why I'm pretty certain he has at least 2 more years, but hopefully it just doesn't continue to look like this.
Well, I hope that he removes himself, man, and he gets some rest in this offseason. First and foremost, he needs to play Trey Lance. He needs to, like everybody's saying, he needs to play his young guys. I don't know who the DB coaches are or why they're so undisciplined, but it's obviously costing us games. We could have at least won 2 more games, that we've lost because of the PIs, alone. They got some turnovers last night, which was amazing. And another thing, man, I don't know if everybody agrees with me on this, but I feel like it's not just our team, but it especially on our team. When these guys make plays, make a catch for a first down, get a tackle on a defense, get a turn, they're jumping around and celebration, and you know what I mean, acting like they just won the Super Bowl. Like we're our losing team. We're playing for our lives right now. All right, yes, I did it. That's it. Go next play. Like, you know what I love about Nick Bosa? He makes these plays, and it's like, oh, that's it. Because he's smart. He's saving his energy. Yeah. When you're exacerbating all this energy, jumping up and you're wasting your energy. You got to go right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste your energy, man. All right, we're not even winning right now. You know what I'm saying? Good celebrate, good job. Let's go. Come on, focus up. Yeah, I would like somebody to address that to them on the team. And I just want 49ers fans to just, hold their heads and still be optimistic. It's still a lot of things we can accomplish this year. I think the season's pretty much damn near over. If Trey Lance could come in and if he made the playoffs, to me, it would be like the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gotta do a lot of winning. And they're not too far. They're not too far back right now. Vetty, I'm gonna get you off. I'm gonna get the next guy on before I get Greg on, man. But I appreciate you calling in, man. You gotta call in more often.
I will, man. I appreciate you having me. I love your show, man. I listen every morning.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Croc.
All right, here we go. We got Greg coming up, but before Greg, got one more guy. My guy, Niner Empire DMV. What's good, man? How you doing this morning? Oh, wait, one second. My bad. I gotta address this real quick. Got a super chat here. Keep the faith. I like the name. Would have liked to see more Jews, Dwelly, and are they sure-handed, reliable? Oh, they are sure-handed, reliable. Elijah Mitchell has a bright future. Really like Elijah Mitchell. I think that he definitely has the potential to really be that guy. And I think that's Elijah Mitchell represents all the reasons why, one, you don't have to trade for running backs, or you don't have to trade up, or you don't have to draft running backs high. Exactly. You're getting terrific production out of a guy that has big playability. You could see with every carry, with every game, he's starting to see the field better. I thought early on, I'm like, he's not really seeing it. And it looked like he kind of was, because he had that one big run. And so the numbers were skewed a little bit. But really watching him on a consistent basis, I was like, he's not seeing it. And then you could see it against the Eagles. It was just like, man, he's just running into a wall every time, like he's not seeing it. And now you're starting to see him really see it. Started last week, looked really good. Should have had more carries against the Cardinals. I said last week, but against the Cardinals. And then obviously this game, where it's like, okay, you're starting to see the shiftiness. You're seeing them get more and more comfortable running the rock. Really liking what I'm seeing from him. And again, use the 6th round pick on him. That should really be the standard for the 49ers. Undrafted, 5th, 6th round. Shouldn't be taking anybody really high or spending a lot of money on free agency, because so far, those guys that they have prioritized through free agency and now the draft with the 3rd round pick or even the 4th round pick of Joe Williams, those guys haven't really done much. But I appreciate the contribution. Keep the faith. But what's on your mind real quick? Because I got Greg Panelli waiting. So how'd you what's your overall take from last night?
Failed to plan to fail. I wasn't expecting. I talked about it on the Twitter space he was on Friday. We
I'm going with Jimmy because Trey was injured. I get that, but it was a rain game, so you had to run the ball heavily. First drive, we always look like the first drive. That's an ongoing thing this season. First drive, we look immaculate. Oh my God, he's dialing up the plays, and then we get stagnant. It's like he gets ahead of himself. It's like Kyle has to stick to what's working. I said we didn't run no stretch plays after that first drive. We was running like Vetti said. Vetti said it best. We was running out of shotgun formation. Like why? It's a rain game. You're not getting no yardage doing that. We did it multiple times and we didn't get yardage. And then Jimmy pocket presence is bad, man. It's a bad situation. I agree with everybody. I wasn't shocked we lost because I told everybody on the Twitter space all last week. I said the Colts y'all keep saying the Colts got a bad defense. I say the Colts is an NFL team. You have to scheme for every NFL team. The dude Rhino was like, man, we could really bring it together and stuff like that. I'm like, no, be realistic. If you play football and you watch football and you study football, be realistic. You have to scheme for every daggone team you play. There's no easy team in the NFL. They are professionals. They get paid to do their job. The Colts was a trap game. We lost that trap game. Next week is a trap game. We might lose that game. That's going to be
Is it
the
really
game
a trap
of
game if the expectations for you to win are low?
it's still a trap game because everybody's expectation is we can still bring it back. We can still the season might be a wash, man. This might be a wash if he don't get. He might have to just go on and just settle down and say, look, just go on and play Trey Lance. Get as much work with him as possible. Like you said with Elijah Mitchell. I thought Elijah Mitchell played good. He reminded me of 2019 Ravens game with Mostert. Running hard, reading the blocks, getting good yardage, but you went away from him because they started stopping the run. Jimmy looked really bad last night. He looked bad. He had one good drive and that touchdown to Deebo Samuel and the first drive, but he only threw like two passes. And like you said earlier, you couldn't dial it up for Trey Lance against the Cardinals. Like Trey Lance can work under the sun. So now it's now Kyle's situation to go, hey, I'm gonna just go with Trey Lance, work on him. We win games. Let's work on our rookies. Let's work on our Diablo Lenore. Let's work on Ambry Thomas. Let's work on our rookies and get it to the point where we have some type of light for next year to where we got a concrete idea of what our rookies look like going into their second season. Because as of right now, Josh Norman, average, he's not a playmaker like he used to be. He made some good plays, but then he made some bad plays. Looking in the backfield, not following your assignment. He gave the outside away. I felt sad for Emmanuel Mosley. He was a man on the island on the goal line. He went with the fake. Wentz took it in. I mean, these are mental mistakes that they got to work on. So this week coming up, we got to work on the mental mistakes. I mean, I'm going to still stay faithful. I'm still going to be a 49er fan. I'm going to hold my head high. I'm not going to really be down. But when your expectation is this is a learning curve for our rookies, put the rookie in. Dre Kirkpatrick, I expected Dre Kirkpatrick to make something like that. That's the reason why he was still as a free agent. Like he came in, few plays, he didn't make a play on the ball. Like you said, he slipped. It is what it is. When it go bad, it go bad. Like, I mean, you just got to bounce back. Now is the time to groom our young players, and we got to do that. This is the bottom line.
Yeah. All right, man. Shoes, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we'll get into it more as this week goes on, and especially once we start to hear more about who's going to be the quarterback of this team. But for now, we are about to get my guy Greg Panelli on. So, man, Niner Gang DMV, Niner Gang Empire, man, I appreciate you coming on. All right. About to get Greg on, but real quick, we're going to take a brief break. Before we go to break, make sure during the break, you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already. We're pushing 6,000 subscribers on this channel. I appreciate everybody that has contributed to the channel. I think heading into this show, I was maybe about 30 subscribers shy of 6,000. So that's pretty awesome, man. I appreciate everybody checking in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, click down the chat, hit that like button, and then get back in the chat. But here we go. Brief break, and then I'll get my guy Greg Panelli on. All right, we are back. You see, I changed the whole layover and everything. It's
Look at
QB
that.
Monday.
You got it
Yep,
rocking.
my guy Greg Panelli. What's up, Greg? Man, how you doing?
I'm good, Croc. How are you?
Oh man, I'm chilling. So tough game last night, man. When you're looking at a game that's in, for those of you who are new to the channel, we got my guy Greg Panelli here. We actually played together at Modesto Junior College. He went on to play Division I football. He also is a big time trainer now in California, really doing his thing. Has worked with guys like Josh Allen, and he's done that over years. Tyler Bray, some of the guys, a plethora of high school guys, college guys. Does combine training, all that stuff. So when it comes to quarterbacks, I decided, you know what? Like, I'm not just going to always give my opinion. Let me get the opinion of someone who watches these guys, studies these guys, understands what it's like to be in that position and what goes into playing the quarterback position. But when you see a game like that in those elements, how difficult does it make it playing to really be able to execute from a passing standpoint?
It's pretty tough. That's the one thing that I think is you look at every year. What do they do at the combine? They measure guys' hands, right? And they look at the quarterback's hands. And if you have under 10-inch hands, then they start to get a little bit worried, or 9.5, under 9.5, they get a little bit worried. And I haven't even looked at the size of Jimmy's hands, and I forget what they are. But that game yesterday is
look it up while you're talking.
A representation of why they do that, because the NFL football is a little bit bigger than what the college football would be. And then, being able to grip that football in cold weather or rainy weather, whatever.
His hands are 9.25.
Yeah, it's
so
not
he
very
has small
big.
hands. Yeah, small hands.
Mine are about the same size. And for a rain game in the NFL, it's not going to make it very easy to be throwing the ball with 9.25-inch hands, especially when it's dumping like that. So it definitely changes the game from the quarterback perspective, being able to push the ball with a little bit more velocity or throw the ball downfield. So some of the throws yesterday that came out, I'd give them a pass just because they were just crappy balls because of the rain. But then there was I don't even want to jump into it as far as that goes yet, but the game plan does have to change. As in a quarterback's mindset, at least with me, especially being out here in California, Croc, like you said last night, you'd never played in the rain game. The closest you got was that Sacramento City game when we went up there, and
it rained
I
for
played
like 10 minutes. It randomly just started dumping, and then it just went away. Yeah,
right. And I played in rain games a couple times. Played when there was snow on the ground, so the rain is definitely pretty tough. The mechanics change a little bit. You watch Jimmy's mechanics change a little bit. It kind of goes from a little bit more of a fluid path. If you do this in the rain with smaller hands, that ball is going to go flying out of your hands. So now it's kind of just lifting the ball up and throwing it, which he's kind of taking power away from those throws, but you're kind of lifting it and almost pushing it just so the ball's not flying out of your hands. But overall, yesterday was it was just ugly. I think everybody would agree that it was just ugly, and that game yesterday would have been a great opportunity to get the run game cooking again, and it looked like it had its flashes of it. But overall, obviously, wasn't enough. We had some crappy turnovers, and field position wasn't the greatest at times. So overall, just an ugly game.
I want to get your advice on this, because I look at this and maybe you could tell me, does Kyle Shanahan sometimes get in his own way? All right. And what I mean by that is, it seems like he's so fixated on scheme. And I see this a lot with high school coaches, right? I feel like high school coaches are the worst at this. And it seems like he's kind of falls into this category where everything that he does is about his scheme, right? Instead of looking at it, because I always look at it like, dude, I can look at a corner and I'm like, dude, you have a fast receiver, you got a speedy receiver, You have a corner that's 5 yards off and he's flat-footed. So if I see a corner 5 yards off and he's flat-footed, I'm telling the guy, run the go route. Like, you got to go right now, right? So I don't care about what we've had schemed up. I'm actually going to scheme up a shot for that play. So if it's If you got too high, I'm gonna put a receiver in that slot, have him run a post, have my other guy run a go so I can pull that safety away. If I have single high, I'm gonna run goals on both sides and I'm gonna steer this way, come back this way. I'm gonna take a shot. When I look at Kyle, it seems like he never does anything to really take advantage of a poor secondary. 49ers have played against several poor secondaries over the year, and it seems like they never really take advantage of a poor secondary, or, oh man, this corner is really bad. Xavier Rhodes, I talked to a lot of the Colts guys on the podcast during the week, and they were telling me like he's just been terrible. He's been so bad,
Right.
and he's just a liability. He's a weakness. And like Kyle Shanahan doesn't even like test him vertically, even after him leaving warmups with a foot injury or ankle injury or whatever it was. So do you think sometimes coordinators and Kyle as well can kind of be their own worst enemy when it comes to play calling?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that they get so caught up with their own scheme that has worked sometimes that they don't even go to the next level as far as taking full advantage of that secondary. Like, you watch a lot of other teams with pretty solid quarterbacks, and even some without solid quarterbacks, just average guys that, say there's a turnover on downs, right? And a lot of times teams like to take shots on turnovers. Right after turnovers, teams will take a shot. Or like if a corner comes in that's a backup corner, and teams will take a shot on our backup corners. I, like you said, rarely see Shanahan do that. There might be a turnover on downs or a backup corner in, and the next play we're doing outside zone run or a little play action dump off, to the flats or whatever it may be. Like, it goes back to this taking the shots. We don't take very many shots at all. And that's the problem. And yesterday, I wouldn't say would be the greatest time to obviously take those shots, just given the fact that
can't really grip the
it
ball.
was crappy weather. But if you look at what the Colts did, the Colts put the Niners DBs in crappy positions because Carson Wentz was throwing jump balls up in the air towards the goal line, and they're getting PI calls on the 1 yard line, or on the goal line or inside the 10 or whatever. Maybe it happened a couple times. That's just as good as a damn pass completion, at this point. So, especially in a game like that where you're going to take those. And so I think that there's a ton of times where we could be taking shots or try and take advantage of it. And I don't even think he's thinking about taking those shots. He's just stuck within the offense.
That's frustrating. And you look at a time like last night, right? And I'm like, what would possess a corner? I mean, and not to say it's just this game, 49ers corners and DBs have kind of grabbed throughout this year, but more so in the rain. If you think about it like this, right, from a cornerback's perspective or anything, right? When say you got somebody next to you and say you trip, what's the first thing you do? You grab them, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like that when you are, running with a guy down the field and they throw the ball in the air and it's like, damn, like my footing is a little sloppy. I'm trying to keep my footing. First thing you're going to kind of do is try to kind of grab a guy a little bit, not saying bear hug, which we did see Manuel Mosley bear hug Pittman in the end zone, but you're going to kind of be a little bit more handsy to keep your balance and stay with the receiver. And we saw that, but the 49ers didn't even say, you know what? I get that. Like, scrap the playbook. Let's just take shots. That's what Colts got in 3rd and long, and they're like, man, we're going to take some shots. And I've always said it, man, like more good things happen from taking shots. And and I see the comments, well, got Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not good at throwing deep. You don't have to be a good deep ball thrower to just give your guys opportunities to make plays. And the 2 times where they did target Debo deep vertically, they gave him opportunities to make plays. They were both bad balls, but he came down with the balls and scored touchdowns off, whether it was earlier this year against the Detroit Lions or 2019 against the Baltimore Ravens. Outside of that, I think they took one other shot with Debo against Seattle in overtime, and that was it. Haven't seen them throw any other go routes to Debo Samuel. Get him the ball. Get your guys some of these balls. Like, let them go make plays. Let them go be athletes. And it's crazy because I'm seeing other teams do it, where it's like, well, we have a tremendous guy on the outside. We're going to take shots. We're going to do different things with him vertically. And the 49ers are just so reluctant to do it. And I think part of that, and you could kind of answer this, as a quarterback, if you don't take shots, does that kind of hurt your kind of confidence with being able to throw vertically. Jimmy says it's Kyle. That's what he said like a couple weeks ago. He was like, well, I do what Kyle tells me to do. Right? Like
Yeah,
Kyle
and
tells
I
me
get
to
that. Like I think that he does because you look at our route concepts. There's not a ton of stuff that's set up for him vertically, anyways.
Right.
Now it's not like we haven't seen Kyle Shanahan's offense go deep at some point or another. Look what they did. Obviously, they had a guy named Julio Jones over there in Atlanta, and Matt Ryan was throwing the ball, so it makes it easy for you to go throw the ball up in the air and push it downfield with a quarterback like him, the way he was playing at the time, and then obviously Julio Jones. But when you, excuse me, when you don't take shots, it's putting more pressure on the quarterback and the offense to move. I mean, you got to have some of those big hitters because look at yesterday. The Colts might be stagnant on offense at some point or another, and then they go throw the ball up on third down from the 40-yard line going in or from the 50 going in, and now you got the ball on the 10-yard line in one play because you got a pass interference call. And we've seen there's been a couple times where the Niners have thrown the ball up in the air. They weren't even that great of footballs that were thrown, but it's like nowadays with the referees in the NFL, it's like a 50-50 chance on a deep ball. It's going to be pass interference anyways. So
and I like that you said
those
because
odds
everybody
aren't
thinks
bad.
it's just the 49ers, even though it has happened more to their DBs, but that's around the league. Like if you just sit and watch other games and you watch a full game, not red zone, actually watch a full game, you'll see these other guys are getting flagged for these same things as well.
Oh, it's happening all the time. And I think it becomes, especially as a fan of a team, it becomes a little bit more highlighted because you're actually more invested in the DBs or invested in the defense of the Niners. So you're going to notice those penalties a little bit more. But yeah, it does happen all the time. I just think that they should. I mean, like I said, at this point, especially, what do you have to lose by taking a couple shots down the field? One of them that we took yesterday, it was a completely stupid throw. 1, rain. 2, triple coverage, and Jimmy threw it up across the middle, and it was picked off. So I don't care if it was 75 and sunny. It was a stupid read, and he shouldn't have thrown the ball, across the middle into triple coverage, and it ended up getting picked off. I think it was like a bender or a post route or something. But no shots outside. Well, he threw one, and I forget. I don't know if it was the running back. I think it was first or second quarter. First quarter where he slipped on the sideline. I don't know if that was like a wheel route. I'd have to go back and look at it. But it was one of them where he threw it outside. But it wasn't a deep shot. It was maybe a 25-yard ball, just past the sticks. And so it hurts the offense when you don't give them chances like that. You put a lot of pressure on the dudes up front. You're putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback and even more pressure on the receivers because now they're catching everything underneath, trying to get yards after the catch. Just like Debo. I mean, take away Debo Samuel right now. He's like carrying the Niners offense. If you take Debo away, he's made a lot of strong-handed catches going across the middle. He saved Jimmy, once or twice last night from another interception because he turns into a defender last second, and he actually comes down with the ball a couple times on questionable throws. So, Debo working across the middle, that's great. I love it. He is like bred for that stuff. But at the same time, the kid can run. Why not go throw one up in the air? I'd like my chances with Debo Samuel for him to go up and fight for a ball, or at least try and bat something down, or turn into a defender last second if it's going to be picked off, rather than just not doing it at all.
What do you think about this? Trey, and I appreciate the contribution. Keep the faith. Trey's pocket awareness compared to Jimmy is day and night difference. Jimmy doesn't make the best decisions and doesn't protect the ball. And we'll get into Trey Lance a little bit because I think a lot of people they want him to start right now. But before we get to Trey Lance, just from a pocket awareness standpoint, what did you see with Trey Lance in his only start this year against the Arizona Cardinals and Jimmy Garoppolo so far? I guess, kind of throughout his career, if you see any trends with him.
I think that Jimmy is hit and miss with his pocket movements. I think that some days he moves really well in the pocket, and I think that he's got some decent awareness sometimes. Then there's other times, and I know last night people are, you're going down or you got a couple sacks or whatever it may be. I think that sometimes it's just he might get stuck on one guy for too long, or he gets these happy feet where you start to see him dance around. He's like, it's almost like after a second or two where it kind of sets in instead of continuing to maybe get some depth. Like if you look at a lot of the other elite guys, they might continue to get some depth and buy themselves time away from the line of scrimmage. Once Jimmy gets to like 5 in his drop, 5 in the hitch, he's kind of staying within the pocket. And then he tries to make these little shuffle movements throughout. And, Tom Brady's always been that same type of guy. And obviously he learned under Tom Brady, but Tom Brady also gets the ball out a lot quicker and has made decisions a lot quicker. Yeah, Trey, I mean, Jimmy's pocket movement is hit and miss. And when it's missing, it looks like shit. And then when it's on, it's just okay. It's not bad. Trey's pocket awareness, I think Trey's more athletic, right? I wouldn't say necessarily we haven't seen enough of his awareness yet. You know what I'm saying? Overall in the NFL,
Yeah.
I think that he's more athletic, so he's able to get out of things a little bit easier, obviously, than Jimmy, just because his abilities, his quickness to get out of there and make plays. And I guess to be quite frank, like if you really want to dive into it with the small things, Trey Lance, how many passes did Trey Lance throw under center where he's sitting at 5 yards depth versus him in the shotgun? He was at 8 yards of depth, damn near every play, every time he was throwing the ball. So he had maybe a little bit more time or a little bit more of an opportunity to see what was coming at him. But I do like what Trey does. He's obviously able to move pretty twitchy in the pocket, get out and create some space for himself. And like I said, that's what a lot of these the newer cats in the NFL and these elite guys these days are doing, is buying themselves more time and giving themselves more opportunity, which I like that Trey does. And Jimmy doesn't necessarily do that all the time.
So I don't know if you listened to anything that Kyle Shanahan said last night. I actually just heard certain clips of it. But real quick, got a super chat here. The rain exaggerated Jimmy's flaws. What do you think about that?
I guess I would agree. Like that was the thing. I was thinking about it last night. Like I knew this was, a lot of this stuff was going to be coming up just because of the way that it was played last night. So some of those things you got to take out and kind of throw away, just given the fact that the weather was pretty crappy, and go back to weeks prior where Jimmy's playing and look at how his game has been when the game is, or when it's not necessarily wet outside. So like, what was the last game he played? Was the Packers game? Sunday night game? I forget. I think that's what it was. But I think that it does. I think it did exaggerate some of his flaws, but a lot of those things, or some of those things with the footing and having to throw underneath and not being able to get the ball out of your hands as quickly as normal or with as much velocity, you gotta take it with a grain of salt just because of the fact that the weather was kind of crappy last night.
So you got this game coming up against the Chicago Bears. It's a road game, and we saw Trey Lance last time he started. It was a road game as well, and I took away a lot of positive things, and obviously some things that I felt like he could work on. If Trey Lance does get the start, because listening to Kyle Shanahan, he did not commit to starting Jimmy Garoppolo. They asked him twice. The first time he responded, he said something along the lines of, I don't know, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It was something along, like, I know he said, I guess, right? When they asked him if Jimmy was going to be the starter. Then I guess they asked him again later, and he was like, I have a lot of things that I have to evaluate. Got to look at the film, yada, yada, yada. So there is, and he said something about depending on health and whatnot. So there is that chance that Trey Lance will start. If he does start against the Bears, what are kind of your expectations? Because I know a lot of fans are looking to Trey Lance to fix the issues that are going on right now. And I'm like, I don't know if Trey Lance is fixing the reason why the 49ers. Okay, let me take it back a little bit. I came on here originally talking about it, and I don't think Jimmy is the reason why the 49ers are necessarily losing. I do think there's
Right.
opportunities for him to be more of a playmaker, but that's never really just been his game.
Right.
Jimmy has won a lot of games because he does enough good to where you win and also cuts out enough bad or makes just enough good plays to overcome any bad that he does. But typically, you're not Jimmy's typically not the reason you win, but he's also the reason you don't lose. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, so when you have Trey Lance, are you expecting him to be more of a playmaker and that's going to result in wins? Or me, the way my outlook has been on it is I never cared, and I can look at it this way because fans typically aren't going to look at it like this. Kyle's 100% not going to look at it like this, but I never cared if the 49ers win or lose this year. To me, this season will be a success if Trey Lance is if you have a lot of confidence the last 4 or 5 games of the year and head into next season that Trey Lance like, okay, we got the guy, like we got our guy. Like if you walk away from this season thinking that, then this will be a success. And I thought the best way to kind of build up to that would be to play him right away. I think a lot of people are calling for Trey Lance because they think that he's going to play and is going to result in wins. I don't necessarily think so. I think maybe down the line it could end up resulting in that. But I don't think you just play him and all of a sudden 49ers is going to win all these games. What are kind of your thoughts on that? I know I said a lot, but what are your thoughts on that?
No, I saw a thing when I woke up this morning that Schefter posted, and it was kind of the same as what you said. He asked, or somebody asked last night if Jimmy Garoppolo would start versus the Bears, and Shanahan said, I would guess so. So we had 2 QBs hurting this week. Jimmy was able to come back and play. We'll see if Trey Lance can play next week. We're not sure yet, but I got a lot of things to figure out. And I would agree that he's got a lot of things to figure out. Now, here's the thing with the Trey Lance situation, and it goes back to what we talked about after the Cardinals game. What if Trey Lance plays? What offense is Trey Lance going to be given? Because there was 2 completely different offenses on the field. One against the Cardinals. Then what happens last night? First play of the game. Play action, roll out, dump it off, get the offense going. The run game's working. He's under center. When Trey Lance was in the game, as we talked about, and I made that comment, they look like a crappy version of the Ravens. That it was a completely different offense.
Why is that? They didn't, and I'm gonna pull it up, and we're gonna do a little film study here, y'all. We're gonna just to see how things look. But in the preseason, he played under center.
Yeah, he did. He played in what the Niners had. So like, that's the thing this week is like, I was thinking about it. It's like, is Kyle preparing 2 offensive playbooks at the same time and doesn't know which one he's going to go with every week? Like it's confusing to me because, like I said, and we've talked about it before, and everybody knows at this point that this watch the shows. Trey Lance played in a pro style offense in college. He played under center in college, the same college that Carson Wentz played at, North Dakota State. They are a pro style team. They put a lot of good things on the quarterback. They give him abilities to change plays, and they're doing the protection stuff. So Trey Lance, as far as guys that are playing under center, because that's always the conversation coming into the NFL is like, well, did he play under center? Did he have to call his own plays, or not call his own plays, but change protections and things like that? Trey Lance did all those things, right? He played under center, and so that transition from that takes away from that difficulty or that transition factor going into the NFL. So if you give him the offense that Jimmy is running or the offense that he ran in preseason, I would love to see it. If you're going to come out with the Cardinals offense or that offense that he ran against the Cardinals, leave that crap in Santa Clara, because I think the same thing's going to happen. It's just too predictable with what he was doing. I watched the high school game on Friday with one of my quarterbacks who's a good athlete. It looks like the same thing. It's just predictable. It's like college offense,
Here we go. All right, so I'm going to preseason right now, and I want to bring some things up because it was strange to see how much was under center, how much was not under center, how much was in shotgun, right? I mean, I think there was like one snap or so where he was actually there was like one snap where he played from and sorry guys, because I'm kind of trying to filter through this right now to see where is
Yeah,
Trey Lance
he
at.
played quite a bit. Like I know preseason he played quite a bit. Obviously he did some shotgun stuff. And when he comes in and does the package stuff, that's fine, right? Like if if he's gonna come, if Jimmy plays, which if Trey's healthy and Jimmy starts, we'd obviously expect Trey to come in at some point or another. And if he does the package stuff, great. But I also think do the package stuff, give them some under center stuff maybe within that package. Like I know what they're doing, but you come out on the field and you do the package stuff, and it's like, okay, it's zone read, right? It's going to
Right.
be inside zone or outside zone from the gun. He's going to either fake or he's keeping. That's it, right? And he hasn't necessarily. He's thrown out of the package when he comes into the game. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 times this year max. I think the first one was a touchdown, right? In the first game of the year. But besides that, yeah, like I would love to see Trey operate the offense with what it was, not necessarily last night the way it functioned, but the typical Shanahan offense that's been more so under center.
So this right here, this is him under center, right? Are you guys able to see this?
Yeah.
Under center, play action, boom. Like where
That
is
right
this
there
at?
is that right there. So that's exactly. So pause it real quick, Croc.
All right, hold on.
So you look
Pause
at
it
it
right
like a
here.
pro set. Yep. 1st and 10 is a pro set, right? Under center. Let's go. Like this is what the Niners offense has kind of been, right? We
Right.
saw none of this against the Cardinals, not to my knowledge. I don't remember one play looking like this pro set right here with eye back.
Right. Yeah. So you see this, and you see. So to me, it's like, well, clearly he can do it, right? Like clearly he doesn't have to 100% play. Excuse me, in shotgun, right? Like that's what this is telling us. There was another play. I'll stop sharing for a second, just to look at this other play that was similar to that, where I thought he came out firing and it looked good,
But
but
you look at that play, just for an example, you look at that play, that's like a good get your quarterback into rhythm play right there. Right. It's like a little smash or like a little levels concept where you got a low route and then you got the high route behind. And you're either reading like depends on the leverage of the flat defender, or the corner right there. Right. You're reading low to high. And he does play action, gets the linebackers to suck up. He's got to look to one side of the field, one guy, or one area rather. And if the corner's coming down, he throws it right over the top. But he threw it on time. Play action 5, boom, on time, takes the hitch, throws it, completion. That's the offense that Jimmy's been given. That's the offense that should be given to Trey Lance if he comes into the game, because that gives him an opportunity to find a rhythm, right? So
right.
if it's that, I like it. But if it's the other stuff, throw it away and try again.
So also, I'm looking at a couple plays here. Let's see. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let's share the screen real quick. I believe this is this is Trey Lance's first snap. Right? This is his first snap right here. Let me share the screen. This is his first snap of preseason. What is he doing? He's under center.
There you go.
First
There's the
snap
pro
of
set again,
preseason.
right?
Pro set, I formation. Here we go. Okay, he comes up. Boom, big play action. Okay, don't feel comfortable there. Okay, hitch, move, throw on the run, and then you have to drop by Ayuk, which clearly has led to more than what we were expecting. Like I was like, oh no, Ayuk's gonna be all right, like that. But it's like, damn, it's kind of been a trend of just things being weird with Ayuk. But this is him under center. So when you see him come out against Arizona and everything is in shotgun, I mean, does Kyle think, well, he can't play like this? But clearly it looks like he can to some extent, right? Now let's go to the next drive. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. So you had the obviously the touchdown play. And guys, I'm not saying that Trey Lance is perfect or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, and Greg was kind
There it
of
is right
talking
there.
about it. Here
Under
we
center
go.
again.
Under
Under
center,
center.
right?
How
So
many?
it's like, why is it that he's coming out under center so much in the preseason? And let's see what happens with this. Boom, big boot, square back up, boom, throw the ball across the field on the money, right? Why could he do it? Why could he do that in preseason? But then you get into the game and it's like, nah, I'm just gonna have you in shotgun all the time. And really, it kind of limits a lot of what makes Kyle Shanahan's offense click. But he's like, well, I want to call offense to like, well, what was he doing? What were you preparing him for in preseason? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like that part of it to me is weird. I watched Jimmy Garoppolo come out this last game and his first couple of snaps under center, boom, big bootleg, get him out on the move, threw the ball to, you know what? Gotta find another. There's another play, Trey Lance, that I want to show you guys because now this one here that I'll be showing in a second was more of what we saw from Jimmy last night. All right, so I gotta find this. I gotta find this play. But just real quick, you can. Oh, let me get to this super chat real quick. Leonard and Defoe is downright a beast. I heard the announcers say that they were playing off of each other. Defoe would work havoc, then Leonard would clean up. That's what a lot of when it comes to like the interior guys, they eat things up for the linebackers to come in and clean it up. So whenever you have like a really good front, look at the 49ers in their heyday with Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. A lot of it was, well, you have Ray McDonald and Justice Smith and those guys eating up everything underneath. And then those terrific linebackers the 49ers had were coming in, shooting, and making big time plays. All right. So that's a lot of what you were seeing there. Appreciate the contribution. But I know I had cut you off previously. Go ahead and talk a little bit more about why you would like the 49ers to play a little bit more under center with Trey. And I'll be looking for that play that I wanted to kind of show.
I just think that's been the identity, I guess, of the Niners since Shanahan has been there, since Jimmy's been there, is more of that West Coast under center pro style offense where use checks obviously in there. We got a tight end in there, so it's 21 personnel, right? There's 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Sometimes use check will go out wide, so it just depends on, to a defensive perspective how they're going to call it, whether it's 21 or 12 personnel, whatever it may be. But you got 2 receivers out there, and the run game is a big player in that. So like if the run game is working, which it has, and it's functioned well over the last couple of years, then it makes it pretty easy for the Niners to function in their typical offense that Shanahan is calling. So a lot of his play calls work off the run game, a lot of play action stuff, a lot of misdirection stuff, trying to put the defense in a bind. There's not a ton of drop back, obviously, and push the ball downfield. Now, again, when he did that with Trey Lance, he's in the shotgun and he's doing just the play action fakes. There was no identity. So right now I feel like the offense is like in between identities of trying to fit this new offense with Trey Lance or force this new offense with Trey Lance versus what we've been doing with Jimmy Garoppolo. So trying to find a new identity of the Niners offense with a quarterback that has run the pro style offense and did it pretty well, obviously, at North Dakota State, and then did it pretty well during the preseason. So I think that, I don't know if it's a mistaken identity or just no identity whatsoever between the two, but I don't think that it's necessarily helping Trey Lance out because I can't see Shanahan doing this shotgun, college-like or Ravens-like offense with Trey Lance. God forbid that Shanahan's there or isn't there for over the next 3 or 4 years, or
Right.
into his career in the NFL. I can't picture him doing that necessarily.
Right.
And so that's what's weird is like, it wasn't even a package thing against the Ravens. This was like the full-time new offense compared to what he's done weeks prior, what he did in the preseason, and compared to what Shanahan's done throughout his time in San Francisco.
Right. Let me see. I think I'm almost there. Here we go. Is this under center? All right. Here we go. And this right here will look a lot like what we saw last night from Jimmy Garoppolo on that first drive that led to a touchdown. All right. Here we go. Chrome tab. All right, here we go. You guys able to see this?
Yeah,
So-
pause it for a second, Croc. Let it buffer. There it goes. It should be working now. But it was kind of grainy for a little bit on the last couple.
All right, how is it right now?
It looks fine right now.
Under center, boot, get him out on the move, hit a guy in stride. And this is also a pass that or a play where if it's not there, he could actually keep it. But look how it gets everybody to crash down. And then eventually, watch how they crash down. Eventually, it's going to hold the guys on the backside because, like, damn, they got me on this last time. And then it's going to open up things in the run game. But again, this is not the offense that we saw against Arizona. And I think it would lead people to believe that, well, Trey Lance can't run that style of offense. And I just don't think that's true. Now, you could say that Trey Lance needs to get more comfortable doing this, but I don't think it's that he can't.
And the thing is, this play is very similar to the one that you showed against the Chiefs. You got a low and you got a high guy, right? It makes it an easy read on Trey Lance. I'd be doing this all day with Trey Lance because, again, it takes the pressure off him having to scan full field or going pure progressions. Look, we have a low route underneath, and then you got a high route. The spacing between the two in the back was not very good there. Obviously, so you would put him in a bind. God forbid he had to go to the next level with who is that? Was that Benjamin back there?
Yeah, it's Benjamin.
Yeah. So right there, he's open now. Get it to him. Easy completion. Keep the chains going or keep the ball moving and let your guys do the work. That's why we got those speedsters, right? That's why we have dudes like Debo, dudes like Ayuk. You know, there's James, obviously, but taking the pressure off of Trey Lance. Those are like no pressure plays right there for the quarterback. You have a play action read. You're booting out. You have to read one side of the field, low to high. If he's open, throw it now. If he's not, then you go to the next guy in the progression, which would be the high route, and then you have the mid that would have been coming across. But besides that, it makes it very easy on the quarterback, and especially to get into a rhythm. So
right, and they're showing the other stuff too. So, and what we're saying too is we're not saying don't do this stuff, right? Like we're not saying don't have him in shotgun right here, which is a terrific play. We're just saying why did you completely go away from the under center, the pro style stuff, the stuff that makes your offense so dynamic?
Right. It's what everybody else is doing, right? To say that nobody else is in the shotgun is stupid, obviously. I'm not saying that don't go in the shotgun at all, but don't go in the shotgun 99% of the time and under center twice when that's not how the offense was built or is built and it functions. And that's not even what Trey Lance did, one in college, but two in preseason. So you give him a completely different offense, and I think you put him at a disadvantage from the start. So I would love, going against the Bears, obviously, if Trey Lance is going to play, which he's going to play at some point, but if he starts, give him the offense.
Right.
I just give him those things that you're just showing right now. Make it easy on him, and then throw in the package stuff, do the zone read stuff. Like that stuff's going to happen. But again, you look at a guy like Trey Lance, and I'm not going to say he's the Josh Allen of the world yet, but they're built similar. They're good, big athletes, big arms. Josh plays under center. Josh plays in the gun. Josh does some of the zone read stuff. Josh does, it's like almost you kind of got very similar things to do with both of those quarterbacks.
And do you think similar things that they had to work on?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that Shanahan's offense from a quarterback perspective, the way that it's built that he's done it with Jimmy would be easier for Trey Lance to come up in the NFL and have more success right away than the Bills offense necessarily would, because the Bills offense is not necessarily so much pro style. The Niners, West Coast, the Niners offense is a lot more West Coast, throwing underneath, crossers, things like that, which would make it even easier on the quarterback because we don't take shots down the field. So
Right.
we keep everything underneath. It makes it easier for the quarterback, right? There's not a ton of shots that are taken down the field. So I think what we just saw, I mean, I would be doing that over and over and over until people figured out how to stop it. And the good thing about that, when you're doing those boots, if you're working low to high, God forbid it's not open, Trey Lance could take off with his feet and get you 5-6 yards.
We got a question here. It says, "Hey, Panelli and Croc, big fan. Appreciate it. If there's one reason for fans to not be 100% out on Kyle and John, what would that be? It's been hard dealing with this." What would be like, basically if you want to keep fans like optimistic about Kyle being around, which he's going to be around. So just what's your pitch on why the 49ers fan base should be more just, I guess, understanding or optimistic about where this is headed with Kyle?
It's tough, being a fan or a lifelong fan and being a guy that has enjoyed watching Kyle Shanahan's offense when it's functioning, right? It's fun to watch because a lot of things work off of each other. When they work off of each other and they work, that's a really cool offense to watch because it just seems like he's a mastermind, right? Right now, again, it seems like it's almost like the playbook is just lost. Or maybe we don't have the same dudes that are functioning within that offense. And I don't think Mitchell's a bad running back, but you talk about, letting Breida's gone, Mostert's gone. Like those big hitter, if you remember back when we had Mostert and Breida, remember those big hitter runs that we would open up games with? I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was the Browns, that Super Bowl year, when the offense, obviously the run game that year was unreal to watch, but we had multiple big runs throughout the games where they're busting it wide open. See you later, off to the races. Breida and Mostert taking off. We don't have I haven't seen any of those long runs. I might be missing one, but I haven't seen any of that this year. So like the big plays have been kind of obsolete this year. Like it just seems like the offense is kind of stagnant. We got to get back to those big plays, got to get back to the solid runs that are coming out where they're busting it for 30, 40, 50 or whatever, how many yards. Getting Kittle back in the game would obviously help. Getting all of our guys healthy would obviously help. Like there's a lot of things that are kind of playing into this as well. Like we're playing games without some of the starters. It's going to make it obviously harder. Just go back to last year. When we were winning games, when guys were healthy, it looks great. When the superstars that are getting paid are not on the field, it's going to look like crap. You're kind of putting them in a bind. And so it's hard. But I'll tell you this, like I've liked Shanahan. Again, I was thinking about last night, like it's going to start becoming hard to defend him if it continues on this path, if that makes sense.
And it might just come to the conclusion, well, maybe it's just not a good head coach, right? And there's that part of it as well. And we've played.
And I think there's plenty of guys like that, honestly.
Right. We had Coach Young, but it was like Coach Young, I don't know what the hell he did, but he was a good head coach, right? Like he just did a good job of getting everybody locked in, did a good job of being there for his players, backing his players. I was not supposed to be eligible that year. I don't know. Did you know that?
It doesn't surprise me though.
Listen, I actually, and you probably don't remember this. There was a time period for a week where I was missing because it was just like I just was not eligible. And I'm like, forget it. Like I'm just gonna be a security guard for the rest of my life. And they honestly, came and got me. And said,
you were such a non-factor when I was playing against you on defense. I honestly didn't even notice.
But I was such a non-factor that they said no, Croc. They came and got me. They said you come up here right now. I wasn't there for about 4 days because I was like I'm ineligible. There's nothing I could do. They got me into classes that were already over. The classes were over. There was like 4 classes. And I needed straight A's. I needed straight A's over the summer in 7 classes because my grades from Delta were so bad. And they got me in classes. The classes were over with. And somehow they were able to enroll me in the class that was already done and closed off and get me A's. And it was like, all right, you just have to write a thank you note to this lady. So I wrote like 5 thank you notes. And that was how I ended up being eligible to play.
There you go.
But that was Coach Young. Like that's a coach. He could just be like, well, Croc, you effed up. Yada, yada, yada. Can't help you. Sorry. Have a nice life. and I've just been a security guard for the rest of my life. But instead, he was like, okay, you screwed up. Let's not just make things worse. I'm going to help you. You just do the right thing. You ball out. You do your thing on the field.
Right.
And ultimately, everything went up from there. But here we go. Joint late. Trade pick again. Oh, I was saying that to say that's a good head coach. Going to bat for his player, making sure that he does whatever his player needs. Not saying that people should do it illegally, but just going above and beyond is let your guy know that you have his back. And I love those coaches to this day for that. Still, Coach Stivers, I don't know. I know he never liked me, but the other guys, whatever. All right, trade pick again. Coach Stivers hated me during that time. Like, you guys let him.
I feel like he hated me too, Croc. So you don't gotta worry about it. He's way different now. I talk to him all the time, and he is completely changed. Like, he doesn't yell at players no more. He keeps it all quiet. I'm like, dude, you are way too nice to these guys. You used to rip us apart. He doesn't yell. He doesn't even wear a headset all the time.
Yeah, he don't care.
No, he would never say that stuff.
And threw the ball. I picked you off and threw the ball. He was like, you can take that stuff back to Stockton. Wow.
He don't care. Hey, he didn't care, but now.
Coach. I was like, you're not my coach. This is my coach. And I pointed to Coach Brown. I got penalized. People talk about the 49ers, right? And them not being disciplined. I got flagged every game for an unsportsmanlike conduct. After every game, I had to roll during practice because I was going to get flagged for something. But I made plays though, and that's the difference. If you're making plays, coaches they'll put up with it for a little bit. Here we go. Trey Lance against the Cardinals was under center. Only one play he played under center. All right, yeah, and we talked about that. We were like, he wasn't under center for the entire game. I think the one time he was under center was the goal line bootleg where he had the collision at the goal line. I think that was the only time he was under center that I actually remember. All right, here we go. I think that's going to do it for this episode. We got to try to get our guy, who we said we're going to get on?
Quincy?
I DM'd you back.
Quincy Avery?
Yeah, Quincy Avery.
Who, obviously, especially with this week where he, for those who don't know, works with Trey Lance and he's worked with Justin Fields. So it would be cool to have him on this week. But he was one of those guys, and if he does come on, I'll let him speak for himself. But one of those guys that actually came out and said that Trey Lance wasn't ready. Most rookies aren't ready to start in the NFL right away. They should have an opportunity to sit. So I'd be interested on his take, especially moving forward.
You said that too. You said it.
Yeah.
And he definitely
Mark Sanchez said it. Quincy said it. There's a lot of guys that still say it. But now the times
I saw Geno Smith. So it's like, I understand. And I think that's the part the fans don't understand. I think the fans just see they play football, they run a play, and either something good happens or something bad happens. But everything kind of leading up to that and the stress and the pressure that these guys are under and kind of really learning not just a new playbook, but basically learning a new language of how to speak, how to operate, trying to learn what the coach wants, as well as seeing the defense in the NFL is way different than what they see in college. In college, for the most part, things are the offense just lines up and the defense just lines up. NFL is not like that. It's like, you line up, and then it's like you might look at one thing and get this, and then all of a sudden he drops, he goes in, and then this guy is in man, but then this guy's in zone. It's so complicated. The defense is that it's really confusing, and that's just understanding the defense. That's not even understanding your offense and all the site adjustments and everything that goes into the routes that the guys are running, being on the same page as that. So when they say that rookies are never really ready, I think that's what they're speaking to. And if you look at Kyle Shanahan and maybe what the offense that he called against the Cardinals was to maybe simplify things for Trey Lance, but we'll see if they kind of work to kind of build off of that. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button. We got over 250 people in here. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys like that. Leave comments, all that good stuff. Everybody that left contributions, I appreciate that. If you're not already, follow me on Twitter at Eric_Crocker. Also follow Greg at Greg_Panelli. All right. Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys download the app Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Crocky. Get in on the action tonight. All right. They got some games going on tonight with the Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints. Big time matchup between DK Metcalf and the corner. I'm blanking on his name. Marshawn Lattimore. You guys can bet on over-unders. How many yards is DK going to get? Tyler Lockett, all kind of things. You can pin stuff against each other, parlay things, make you some money. So Underdog Fantasy, download the Underdog Fantasy app, use promo code Crocky. Greg, anything else you want to say before we head out?
Nope, that's it, man. I hope that hopefully things kind of take a turn for the best this week. I knew that it's never a fun day the next morning or a Monday morning when the team loses the game, especially at home, but a Sunday night game on TV and then everything looks like crap. So hopefully things take a turn for the best this week. I'm sure we're going to see both quarterbacks, given the fact that Trey Lance is healthy. And then maybe at some point later on in the week, we can do another one with Quincy Avery and get him on just to talk a little bit about the quarterback matchup, assuming that Trey Lance will play and him training Justin Fields as well. So that's it for me, man.
All right. Until next time, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're out. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crock Talk TV podcast. Peace.